Hey there, I'm Ken, this is CRT, welcome to this episode, which is not exactly the episode I wanted to film. The episode I originally wanted to film was to show how I buy a lot of my retro gear for little or no money. So I went out and I bought this lot of handheld units because there was one in there I really wanted, and I was going to give an example of what I do for getting everything for next to nothing or possibly nothing. But when I got it home, it turned out it wasn't exactly what I thought I was buying, so it's not going to be a good example of what I do, but I am going to go through this and show you everything I got here and what I intended to do and what I am doing with it. These three games are ones that I just wanted to add to my collection, mostly because I like these old little handheld games. This first one, which is a mini arcade submarine game, actually turned out to be worth a lot more than I had expected. I figured when I saw it on the auction about $5. But on eBay right now, they're going for somewhere in the range of about $35. So not too bad. This Radio Shack Space Crusher, I couldn't find any copies of it online, so I have no idea what this would sell for. And then here with the Entrex Space Invader, if it works, it is missing its battery cover. Ones that work on eBay are selling for, again, about $35. So considering that for the 5 handheld units that I bought, I paid a grand total of $30, this is so far a pretty good deal. And I will be putting in batteries and testing these out. I don't know if any of them work yet, but that's what I'm doing the video for. And this is the game that I really wanted. This is Blip. This was the first game that I had as a child for a handheld unit. We used to play this in the back seat of the car on family trips, my brother, my sister, and I. We played it all of the time. And it is such a loud, annoying game, I am surprised that my parents didn't kill us. But this was the one I really wanted. I know it only goes for about $25 or so, $25 on eBay, but I figured this is a good reason to buy it. Unfortunately, this one is also missing the battery cover. And finally, the last thing I got in the auction was this PlayStation Portable. Now, there was not a good picture of this in the auction. I could just see that there was a PlayStation Portable there. And I just assumed it was probably a PlayStation Portable 1000 because those are the ones that always turn up in these things. And so I bought it with the intention that I was going to sell it because they're selling for about $40 to $50 online, which would have covered the cost of the entire auction that I bought. So all of the other games would have essentially been free. But it turned out that this is a PlayStation Portable 2000, and it's got all of its covers, so it's actually in really good shape. Now, I was going to sell it if it was a PlayStation Portable 1000 because I've already got a couple of those. So as you can see, I've already got 2 PlayStation 1000s. So what would I need a third one for? I use this one for my playing the disc games that I have, and I have this one loaded up with different emulators for old systems. So like here I've got Donkey Kong Jr. playing, I've got ColecoVision on here, I've got NES, a bunch of stuff like that. So I use this as my portable retro gaming console. The first games we'll try out are these two here because they take the same types of batteries. And if you look on the back, this one is supposed to take a Radio Shack 23-115 button cell. It takes 2 of them. Well, there's no Radio Shacks left around here, so I had to do a little research into that, and it turns out that those are little 3-cell button cell batteries, 3-volt button cell batteries. And I finally got some, so I can try both of these out. And these are the batteries right here that I got. Ordered them off of Amazon. And these are Maxell SR1130 or 1130W batteries, which is the equivalent of a 389 battery, which is apparently the ones that these take. So after messing around with these for a little while, this one, a bunch of the LCD screen is just not working. There's enough of it working that you can play the game a little bit. It's just got ships that come across here, and you have to either shoot in one of two directions to try to hit the ship at the top. Pretty basic game. This one, what I did was cut a couple of pieces of cardboard because it looks like these newer batteries are a little bit smaller than the batteries I was expecting. So, with the cardboard in there, it pushes the battery down a bit and allows for the game to work. You go along shooting all these robots as their missiles or whatever they are. So yeah, this one works fine. So here we have the Blip game, which is the one that I really wanted because this is what I had as a child, playing this in the back seat of the car on the long trips to my cabin. So it is a mostly mechanical game. It's basically just a version of Pong, and there's a ball that goes back and forth, and you have to push the button of the either position 1, 2, or 3 that it's going to land in. If you hit the right button, then it gets shot back, and then it gets returned to you. You can play it as 1 or 2 players. If you're playing 1 player, you play against the computer, and it basically never loses. So you can't actually win on 1 player. But it's fun to play with 2 players. So what you do is you have to wind the timer, turn the power on, there we go, and see if there's one little LED. That's the entire amount of electricity this uses, is to light the one little LED bulb. Then you have your points right here. So every time you hit the serve button, it moves your points ahead 1. So you go, boom, and it moves, and then you gotta, oh, and I didn't choose the right one, so, oh, and again, I didn't choose right, and there. And as you can hear, it's very loud, so that's why I'm surprised that my parents never killed us with this thing going in the back seat. But yeah, that is the Blip game, and this is 100% pure nostalgia for me. Now it is time to take a look at Space Invader by NTEX Electronics, and simply made up with 2 controls, left and right, and then the fire button. Then there's a professional and an amateur switch, and an off and on switch. Unfortunately, this off and on switch is really, really, really tight, so I'm leaving it in the on position because I don't want to break it. And this takes a whopping 6 batteries. There we go. We can hear it has turned on. Not sure if you can see that. It's a very dim screen, actually. There, just saw me blow up there. And it is just Space Invaders. Gets bright when you blow up. Finally, we get to the PlayStation Portable. Now, I plugged this in for a while and tried it out, and there's no power. So the battery that's in here is not holding a charge at all. And as you can see, there is a battery. So it needs a new battery. And there is no memory card. Now, when we plug it in, it works. Well, I am quite happy that all of these work. The PlayStation needs a memory card and a battery, which is on its way. This one only partially works. A bunch of the LCD screen is burnt out, but all in all, I'm very happy with a $30 purchase here for these 5 handheld machines. If things had worked out how I wanted them to, then I would be putting this up for sale and hopefully getting a little bit more than $30 for it, in essence making the other 4 free. But because it's a PlayStation Portable 2000, which I do not have, I am keeping it. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sell one of my PlayStation Portable 1000s, probably the one I use for retro gaming. I will put the retro emulators onto this machine so that I can use it for my retro gaming, and I will sell that other one to recoup the money that I spent on this lot, and then I'll still have 2 PlayStation Portables, but one will be a 1000, one will be a 2000. So I hope you enjoyed this little look into how I do some of my retro collecting. If you did, you know what you can do with the liking, the subscribing, and or the commenting below, because anything and everything you do is always greatly appreciated. But for now, I think I am going to play with some retro handheld little games here, and I will see you next time.